Female genital mutilation, or female genital cutting, is a procedure which has been practiced for thousands of years. This custom dates back to the Pharaonic dynasties, Victorian era in England, and has been practiced ever since to the present day. It is believed to have severe health and psychological consequences, which may result in HIV/AIDS and even death. It is a violation of human rights and is a form of child sexual and physical abuse. Around 100 to 140 million girls worldwide have been genitally mutilated. In 2007, the Foundation for Women's Health Research and Development, Forward, estimated that around 66,000 women have undergone FGM living in the United Kingdom, and 20,000 girls under the age of 16 are at risk every single year. Female genital mutilation includes all procedures which involve the partial or total removal of the external genitalia or injury to the female genital organs, whether for cultural or any other non-therapeutic reasons. There are 4 types of female genital mutilation. Type 1 includes the partial or total removal of the clitoris and the clitoral hood. Type 2 is the partial or total removal of the clitoris and the labia minora with or without excision of the labia majora. Type 3 includes the removal of the clitoris, vaginal lips, and the stitching of the vagina.
For female, it has become the tradition of certain Muslim countries or certain places around the world. But it is not a heavenly order. According to all the research and studies, shows that it's a type of punishment for the girls who go through this type of operations. And Allah sent His messengers and His deen as a mercy. And I don't think this can be justified. And there is no base where people who are doing this can say we are doing because there is a heavenly order from any heavenly books or heavenly orders from Adam alayhi salam to Sayyidina Rasulullah, said mercy for all mankind, Sayyidina Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we have to be very clear about doing certain things and trying to say this is a religious order or commandment from the Quran, from the Sunnah. If there is no base, we shouldn't do something, and especially if that thing we're doing is harmful. We shouldn't give a cover to ourselves to say, oh, this is a blessed deed or action. If we do, we're getting reward, because there is no base on that.
I was interested in female genital mutilation because at the Whittington, a number of practicing communities, women who are actually affected by female genital mutilation, normally come to give birth at our hospital. It could have been maybe 12 years ago I first encountered female genital mutilation, and I was unhappy about the care one particular woman received. And therefore I felt the need to investigate further, do my research, and try and implement a clinic that would benefit women that are affected. That clinic was set up in year 2000, which means it's 11 years now. And it was done because there were no mechanisms in place for those women. A lot of our women, at least 98% of the women affected, are from the Somali community. The other 2% are from communities like Eritrea, the Sudan, Ethiopia, Nigeria, the Gambia, and Mali. So they are the women that I have seen so far.
No, even though I've had the procedure done at a hospital with general anesthesia and everything, they said it was extremely painful. I mean, if you need to pass water, it will be painful, and you cannot walk, do anything. It's just, and then you're still too young even, to think about them and, put into perspective and think what's happening. It's basically, and then even, you have to take good care not to walk too fast, or, even when you're sleeping, you can't sleep properly. Basically, it's really a painful situation to be in.
Is often carried out in unsanitary and so potentially dangerous conditions. Razors, blades, scissors, kitchen knives, and even pieces of glass are used. often on more than one girl, which increases the risk of infection without anesthesia. Some girls die as a result of hemorrhagic septicemia. Septicemia is the poison of the blood. And also from shock, infections and scarring can also lead to a long-term urinary and reproductive problems. And more than this is the spread of HIV and AIDS, hepatitis, and other infectious diseases.
Especially in certain countries who have even no means of doing it in the ways like they do in hospitals in other countries. It is so much caused pain, and so it's a type of punishment which may affect these young girls through their lives. And what they're doing, if they think they're doing some good deed, they're doing sinning, because they harming and bringing harm to the body. Body is something is holy for you, amana. You should keep this trust, this amana from Allah, and not harm in any way. And if we are harming in the name of Allah, this is a bigger sin than if you are doing just in the name of tradition. Certain people, they have their tradition. They can keep their traditions if they are happy with them. But they shouldn't give cover to themselves through the religion. And this is what's happening nowadays. Even people, when they try to commit some big acts of harming others in the name of Allah, in the name of Islam, they try to give justification through the Holy Quran or through the Sunnah of Rasulullah. How can you bring harm to somebody in the name of Quran or in the name of Rasulullah, who is mercy for all creations?
My own point of view, FGM is a criminal offense and violation of right committed against women's humanity. And to be honest, the anatomical damage by this practice, unfortunately, is irreversible.
I do think that all healthcare professionals need to know about this practice, because we live in a culture that's very diverse, where communities are migrating from all parts of the world. And we know with migration, communities take with them their cultural practices. Therefore, if they're living in an area in which there's a hospital and they will need to access those services, all health professionals need to know what are the cultural practices of communities in order to ask the correct question to identify women and girls that may actually have had circumcision done or are at risk of circumcision. So I do believe all healthcare professionals need to be aware.
I am an activist in Bethel Eritrean Church. I'm a member of the church, and I try to raise the awareness of the community as well in different issues, not only on FGM. It doesn't have anything to do with Christian values, with religious values in fact, but it's a culture and a custom. It has been developed like a culture in the society because somebody has practiced it and the other people have been influenced. And its main purpose is just to protect the child or the woman when she grows up from going to different men, so that this can calm her down, but it has been very disastrous when they grow up.
Female Genital Mutilation Act 2003. This procedure is illegal in the UK as a form of child abuse and neglect of human rights through the Children's Act 1989 and Female Genital Mutilation Act 2003. And consequences of practicing this acts 14 years imprisonment and a fine. This act makes it illegal to practice female genital mutilation in the UK. It also makes it illegal to take girls who are British nationals or permanent residents of the UK abroad for female genital mutilation, whether or not it is lawful in that country. It makes it illegal to aid, abet, counsel, or procure the carrying out of female genital mutilation abroad.
On the baked desert plains, screaming out my mother's name, while the elders held me down and I struggled to get off the ground. Looking up, I saw an old woman with a blade. "Don't come near me," I yelled. She put my legs apart, cutting my womanhood out, blood pouring, quenching the dry desert sand. As I was crippled with pain, hate and resentment filled my heart. The same question remained: why did you do this to me, Mother?